We're going French today, traders. Old French. Should be interesting. We are going over Laguerre today, and not Laguerre RSI, which I think over time, oddly enough, has become more popular than the classic version of Laguerre. You guys know sometimes I go on YouTube and I see who else is doing videos like this, and almost every time, as you guys probably know, it's usually just an unintelligible pile of hot garbage that you can't even really use. So, but I think they're using the Laguerre RSI. This is not the case. There is a classic version of this. I never liked it, but I was just throwing a bunch of stuff at Dan. I was like, hey, these are some options to test if you want. And we actually got a little bit of alpha out of this one, believe it or not. I was quite surprised. And as is often the case too, we did it by using it in a different way than I used it in the past. So let's just go ahead and jump right into things here. I think this will be a quick video. If you're new, enjoy. This is how we do things here. We are an indicator-focused channel. We are the indicator-focused channel on YouTube. But you might not understand everything we're talking about. That's okay. Go to nononsenseforex.com. Read that first page, watch that first video, and get started. For the rest of us, let's go over the specs. Now, the year on this, John Ehlers came out with this in 2004, but it's based on formulas from the 1850s. Now, I guess this isn't a really big deal. Most of the math we used was created a long time ago, whether it's 60s or 70s or even long before that. It had to start somewhere. But Mr. Laguerre, I can't remember his first name, was around back in the middle of the 1800s, I think, and came out with a lot of this, the base mathematics for what is used today in indicators that bear his name. And there has since been an entire family of Laguerre indicators created in the last probably 20 years. But again, we're going with the super basic version of this indicator today, and it is going to be a confirmation indicator. I was doing this wrong for a while. I don't know why. I was putting like the zero cross information up here. ADD is fun. New adventure every day. But it's a confirmation indicator, and the subtype is going to be a midline cross, at least the way we're doing it. I'll show you the different ways you can trade with this indicator in a moment once we see the picture. But in terms of using this as an exit indicator, the way we're doing it today, I wouldn't. I don't see any reason to. Sometimes I say go ahead and test it out and find out for yourself, but in this case, you could probably skip it. All right, so let's take a look. Now, this is just taken from Dan's blog over at Stonehill Forex. This midline here on the base version does not exist. This is something that Dan added, and he goes over how he did that in the blog. But when I first saw this and I first downloaded it, usually on the page where you download it from, they give you some kind of instructional on how to use it. And so the way I always used it, and I never had great success with it, but I thought it was cool. And I've seen other indicators like your Fisher transforms and things like that operate very similar to where for a short, let's say, you wait for it to get all the way down to the bottom. And then once it touches bottom, then you take your entry. And then what it should do is ride this bottom up until it stops, and then that's when you would exit, I guess, or default to a different form of exiting. They were never very clear on that. So that means this thing right here would be an immediate loss this long because it touched it, but it immediately went away from it. And so this long here would start here, end here, and then start again here, and then here again. You understand what I'm saying? So you wait for it to get to the extreme high or the extreme low, and only then do you actually take the trade. Now, what I like less about this, as opposed to Fisher transform, for example, not the one that obviously repaints, my very first repainter, like the ones you still see going on right now, is it just takes a long time to get up there. The Fisher transforms, they're either down here or they're up here. Really easy. Sometimes you just got to wait, and then you either get a good signal or you just don't. Like, I didn't love this thing, but I thought the idea of it was very cool, and I never forgot it. And I do like the fact that they have come out with more newer and more improved versions. At least on the surface, it seems that way. We're kind of in the process of testing those now. But we tested the basic one, and we actually came up with some interesting things. But one of the things we had to do first was improve the mechanics of it. And as you've seen in the past, what we like to do is add a zero cross or a midline on the hopes that it will give us a better signal. So that's what we did here. And so your long now is when you get in earlier. It's when the line crosses and closes above this midline. And then for shorts, when it crosses and closes below. I think just visually, you can tell it is quite an improvement, even though it's also going to give you false signals as well. Again, that's where the rest of your algorithm comes in. And we will see very shortly how this thing actually performs. Before we do that, you know the drill. Please understand, don't put too much stock in the tests we do. This is just a guideline for you to test this on your own and to see what type of results you come up with. Now, down below in the description, you will be getting my link to my automation blog that shows you how to test these yourself. You get a link to Dan's blog that shows you all the tweak settings and how the mechanics of this whole thing works and the history, everything you've ever wanted to know on it. You're going to get Dan's second email address if you have an indicator you want to send him yourself, or if you have any further questions on an indicator we show here, then that email address is where you go. And then, as always, you get a place to download this yourself. So we will now go to the results, and I will let you know this isn't one of those absolute winners that just performs tremendously across the board. But like I said, if we can give you any kind of alpha anywhere on some of these, and I think that is worth showing. So moving on to euro dollar. As you can see, could be better. Good win-loss ratio, but that is a lot easier to accomplish when you have less trades, and this one only has 14. And on the 4 hour, there's just, no matter what we did to it, just couldn't get any kind of positive ROI out of it. And again, that's not super uncommon. I would argue that's actually fairly common. But just no such luck on the 4 hour. Now, moving over to gold, it is a different story. These are strong. Note the total trades, however. You have quite a discrepancy here. You have 12 trades, which is going to be too low for a lot of people. Then you have 156 trades, which unless you're a coder and you run these things on a robot, that is going to be way too much for you. In all likelihood, I don't know you. But the results are nice. And this is something you may want to consider as a starting point and build around it. Now over to the S&P, quite lackluster. You know, it's a little bit of everything today. So a decent amount on the total trades, I would say. ROI, though, you know, we've shown a lot better versions on this channel so far. But again, let's go back to what we said before, traders. You should still be testing this if you're an S&P trader. Just because it shows you, you know, this is decent. It's just not over the top extraordinary. Test this in your own system and see what happens. When I see a number like this, that tells me that it is worth testing at the very least. This number may be less so, but again, with the technology we have now and the ability to do this faster, you know, what do you have to lose, right? Now over to Bitcoin. Again, note the difference. You know, very strong. Quite a difference too between the default and the tweaks as well. And for those of you who don't know, because I still get people asking this, it's very few of you, but it still gets asked. The tweaks are over here. I cut that off to avoid confusion. Those who are interested, go to Dan's blog, and it's all right there for you. But like I said, there is some alpha here. This is strong. For all you crypto traders out here, this is something worth testing for sure. You know, it's the base version of a pretty old indicator by our standards. It's really something I did not expect to see anything good come out of. Yet on a couple of occasions, it did. And so I'm happy to bring this to you. And speaking of bringing things to you, we bring so many things to you. We have a trading psychology podcast every Monday, an investment podcast every Saturday, indicator profile series videos every Wednesday, as you already know, a blog on Thursday. It is your one-stop shop for all things finance. Subscribe, hit the bell, don't miss a thing. The 2020s are going to be wild. They're already wild. But that benefits us traders. So trade. A lot. Go get it.